Welcome to another episode of Epic Battles in History on How, where we explore the world's most legendary clashes. Today, we take you back to one of the greatest naval battles in Chinese history, the Battle of the Red Cliffs, a showdown that would shape the future of China's three kingdoms and cement its place as a pivotal moment in ancient warfare. The Battle of the Red Cliffs, also known as the Battle of Chibi, took place in 208 AD during the late Eastern Han Dynasty. The empire had been weakened by internal strife, corruption, and rebellion, leading to the fragmentation of power across China. Three warlords emerged as the dominant figures: Cao Cao, who controlled the north, Sun Quan, who held the southern lands, and Liu Bei, a relatively weaker figure allied with Sun Quan. Cao Cao, the most powerful of the three, sought to unify China under his rule. After defeating a series of rivals, he set his sights on conquering the southern lands controlled by Sun Quan and Liu Bei. To achieve this, he needed to cross the mighty Yangtze River, and it was at the Red Cliffs where this dramatic clash of wills and strategy would unfold. By 208 AD, Cao Cao had claimed to command over 800,000 troops, though modern historians estimate his real army was likely closer to 220,000. This number was still immense by ancient standards and far outnumbered the combined forces of Sun Quan and Liu Bei. Before the battle, the southern forces were in a precarious position. Liu Bei's army had been defeated by Cao Cao in the north, and he had retreated south, seeking refuge with Sun Quan. Recognizing the overwhelming threat posed by Cao Cao, Sun Quan and Liu Bei reluctantly formed an alliance, led by Sun Quan's brilliant strategist Zhou and Liu Bei's advisor Zhuge Liang. Zhuge Liang, Liu Bei's chief strategist, was known for his cunning intellect and is a legendary figure in Chinese history. He's often compared to Sun Tzu, the author of The Art of War. According to some stories, Zhuge Liang played a key role in convincing Sun Quan to resist Cao Cao rather than surrender. The Yangtze River would prove to be both a challenge and an opportunity. Cao Cao, being a land-based warlord, had little experience with naval warfare, while the southern forces were well-versed in fighting on the river. This difference in naval expertise would become a key factor in the battle's outcome. Cao Cao's forces were formidable, but they were out of their element. His fleet, comprised largely of hastily built ships and northern soldiers unfamiliar with the river, faced rough conditions. Disease had already spread through his ranks due to the unfamiliar damp climate, weakening his army before the battle even began. Cao Cao's northern troops suffered from seasickness and disease, further eroding their fighting ability. His soldiers were more accustomed to fighting on land rather than navigating the treacherous waters of the Yangtze. Knowing they were outnumbered, Zhou and Zhuge Liang devised a bold and risky plan. Instead of directly engaging Cao Cao's fleet, they would use fire ships, wooden boats set ablaze and sent drifting towards Cao Cao's tightly packed fleet, which was anchored on the river. On the night of the attack, a strong easterly wind gave the southern forces the perfect opportunity. Zhou's fire ships crashed into Cao Cao's fleet, setting his ships ablaze. The northern army, inexperienced in naval combat and unprepared for such a tactic, was thrown into chaos. The fire quickly spread from ship to ship, turning Cao Cao's massive fleet into a floating inferno. Interesting fact: fire ships were an ancient form of psychological warfare. The sight of flaming vessels barreling toward you would have been terrifying for soldiers, many of whom were trapped in the narrow confines of their ships. The fire devastated Cao Cao's navy. With his ships destroyed and his forces in disarray, he had no choice but to order a full retreat. His soldiers, already weakened by disease and seasickness, were now fleeing through burning wreckage and chaos. Cao Cao's retreat was no less disastrous than the battle itself. His forces were pursued relentlessly by Sun Quan and Liu Bei's armies, and as they fled through treacherous mountain paths, many of his soldiers were lost. The great general who had once seemed unstoppable was dealt a humiliating defeat. Interesting fact: according to some historical records, only a fraction of Cao Cao's forces made it back north. Some say he lost up to 80% of his army during the battle and the retreat. The Battle of the Red Cliffs halted Cao Cao's ambitions of unifying China under his rule, and solidified the division of China into three separate kingdoms: Wei in the north under Cao Cao, Shu under Liu Bei, and Wu under Sun Quan. This division marked the beginning of the famous Three Kingdoms era, a time of constant warfare and intrigue that would last for nearly 60 years. Interesting fact: the Three Kingdoms era is one of the most romanticized periods in Chinese history. It's been the subject of countless novels, films, and TV shows, most notably The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, one of the four great classical novels of Chinese literature. The Battle of the Red Cliffs has left an indelible mark on Chinese culture. Its story of brilliant tactics, fiery battles, and larger-than-life figures has been retold countless times throughout history. The battle is celebrated for its dramatic elements, including the fire ships, the cunning strategies of Zhuge, Liang, and Zhou, and the epic retreat of Cao Cao. Today, the actual site of the Red Cliffs is a tourist attraction, where visitors can see the location of this legendary naval battle. The battle has become synonymous with strategic genius and has inspired countless generations with its tales of ingenuity against overwhelming odds. Interesting fact: The Romance of the Three Kingdoms portrays the battle as a classic story of the underdog triumphing over a vastly superior foe. Although heavily dramatized, the novel has become one of the most popular and influential works in East Asian literature. The Battle of the Red Cliffs was a turning point in Chinese history. It not only reshaped the political landscape but also demonstrated the power of strategic warfare and the importance of naval tactics. The bravery, ingenuity, and dramatic events that unfolded during this battle have ensured its place as one of the most celebrated moments in ancient warfare. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to How for more epic tales of the greatest battles in history. Until next time.